Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
The award-winning In Wheel Time car talk show just ahead. The best and worst states for teen drivers. Plus, Jeff will have the cruise in and events calendars, and I'll bring you some of the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy. Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, we always need more Jeff Zeka. Chief Engineer David Ainsley's over here to my right. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad that you could join us on this Saturday. We're coming to you live today. Again, from the Hemi Hideout. We mentioned it earlier. We're in a transition period with the studio for In Wheel Time, and we're going to be hopefully back in our new studio in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, John Hovis, Shelley Gates out here at the Hemi Hideout have been so gracious to let us borrow the back closet.
It's a nice back closet.
It really is.
Really nice.
We all wish we had this closet.
Yeah.
All right. I guess now from WalletHub is Chip Lupo. He's been with us before. And, Chip, it's good to have you with us again. Welcome.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. How you been?
Good. How are y'all?
Well, very well, thank you. So, gosh, I thought, do we really need to have this downer talk? Because this is what it is. Teenage driving in Texas. Wow. There's lots of lists here. Teen driver fatalities per 100,000 teens. We're ranked 28th, but we're number one. Presence of distracted driving, texting while driving laws. We're number one there. We're also number one in the impaired driving laws segment as well. So maybe you could explain all of this to us.
Well, sure, guys. Well, the presence of the driving laws, what that means, that's not necessarily a ranking. That's an indicator. That's just an indication that your state has some sort of law in the books when it pertains to distracted driving, holding cell phones. Here in South Carolina, we just passed a pretty sweeping legislation against handheld driving that went into effect September 1st, and law enforcement was out there just looking for someone to have a cell phone in their hands, and they're not messing around when it comes to that. But some things about Texas that I found interesting, and yes, there was a pretty alarming number of teen drinking and driving, 43rd out of the 50 states, at almost 7.5%. Yet on the other hand, there's the maximum amount that you would get for a speeding ticket. No, I'm sorry, for not wearing a seatbelt, $200, and that's tops in the country. So apparently, drinking and driving is kind of going by the wayside there, but they're sure cracking down on seatbelt infractions.
That's rather odd, don't you think?
I think it's kind of backwards if you ask me.
Yeah, exactly. This teen driver fatalities per 100,000 teens, even though we're ranked 28th, that's still way too many.
Way too many. The thing about Texas, though, overall, Texas was like right in the middle of the pack, 24th overall out of 50 states, so slightly above average, but there's some things in there that Texas really needs to take a look at. One thing I found interesting, and I'm sure if any of you gentlemen have experienced this, if you've added a teen driver to your own insurance policy, well, in Texas, if doing so is going to increase your premium by an average of 114%. That's fourth highest in the country.
Ouch. I mean, there's no way to get around that. I mean, driver education programs, adult driver in the front seat, any way to get around 100% or more?
Well, you would think so, but again, I mean, these rates are high for a reason. So apparently the state of Texas is looking at teen drivers at pretty high risk. So it's very important to not wait until driving school. I mean, parents should instill, good driving habits in their children as soon as they're able. And yes, an abundance of driving schools would certainly help, but it would also kind of be to the parents' advantage to kind of look at their own driving habits, because you want to have as clean a driving record as possible before you add a child on there to kind of lessen the sticker shock there.
Well, I don't know about for the rest of the guys here and yourself, but when it came to driving, yes, we taught our girls how to drive, but we also send them to driving school away from mom and dad to get a different perspective. Because, I may have some habits, and it's been a while now, but have some habits that I don't want to pass on to my daughters. And I'm thinking that, a good driving school for 6 weeks would not be a bad thing. So we bucked up, paid the money, and took them to driving school.
Well, that and teens are more likely to listen to authority figures who are adults other than their parents. So if it's coming from someone else, it's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
We had ours growing up. Ours was part of the school system. It was either an after school or a summer school program where you went for 6 weeks, which in some cases was okay. But then a lot of times you just got maybe a part-time football coach who was who was part of the instructor. But for the most part, it seemed to work out pretty well.
Mine started in what we used to call junior high school, and I was the first one to sign up. And we did it in the school auditorium. And yes, it was one of the PE coaches that was licensed to teach the course. Yep. And, we got to see the horrible, horrible black and white movies of death and destruction and the scary tactics that went along with driving instruction back in the day. And then we had the behind the wheel part of it in a Rambler Ambassador. And there were 4 or 5 kids in the car and the instructor who had a brake at his disposal on the passenger side. And I was never so scared of driving with this guy in my entire life. My mom had taught me pretty well how to drive, and he managed to hit that brake more often than I did. What are you doing? Slam on the brake. Scare you to death.
That says a lot nowadays.
Yeah.
We had a driving instructor. The one I had was an elderly gentleman who walked around with a cane, which was kind of unsettling in itself. But if you were in a car with him, and if you did something wrong, he would jab you on the side with the cane, with his little walking stick. Great. As he was pounding on the brake.
How about you, Mars? Did they have any of that over there in Neaterville?
Well, no, it's the same basic setup. The PE coach, and if you messed up too bad, when you got to PE, he'd let you know about it. You didn't want to do that. But more recently, I've got 3 of my granddaughters, teenagers. Well, one of them just turned 21. She got a 15% discount on her insurance because she turned 21.
Okay.
Yeah. The others, and I'm really surprised, they went to the driving school, got driving. Some of the stuff they learn now that we were never taught made a lot of sense. But then again, they don't spend near as much time behind the wheel. It's up to the parents now to do the bulk of that.
Yeah. Well, and they say nowadays a lot of folks are using the Uber in certain cities. So the big, like the New Yorks and the Chicagos and things, they're using the in L.A. they're using the Ubers instead of having
down here,
own car.
We actually have Uber now.
Yeah.
So
and they're not even getting their licenses.
But it's definitely different for teenage drivers now. Some of it's good, I think, and some of it's bad compared to what we had.
Are there any discounts for teenage drivers? Even though it's 118% or whatever number you came up with, are there any discounts for certain steps that you take? Have your car monitored by the bad guy in the sky or something?
And that depends on the insurance company, but as far as teenagers, the one you just mentioned a second ago, once you turn 21, if you have a clean driving record up to that point, you can expect some considerable discounts. But again, a lot of that depends on the insurance companies. They'll be willing to cut you discounts if you agree to have a little monitor installed in your car that monitors how fast you're going, if you're braking too frequently, those types of things.
Well, there's also some manufacturers, Ford, for instance, I know that they used to have a system that the parent could monitor their child driving the car that has that system in there. And so you got Big Brother looking over your shoulder all the time. You better not speed. Mm-hmm. They've also got speed limit devices in the vehicles and that sort of stuff. So there are some vehicles out there that have some sort of assistance for a parent to keep a good eye on the kids.
Well, another thing, my insurance company came up with, if your the kid's grade point is good enough, you can get a discount off of that.
I'm sure that these different insurance companies have different incentives to nab you into their lair, if you will.
Yeah, once they kind of get you and get you going, then you're there. Because it gets very difficult to change. I mean, not necessarily to say I want to drop you and go to another one. Go find somebody that's going to pick up that 18-year-old and that 19-year-old.
Well, there's that. Well, the 16-year-old.
Oh, and the 16-year-old is worse.
Yeah. So what's your suggestion, Chip? What do we do?
Well, again, it starts with as parents, it's a good idea to have a clean driving record before you add your teen. Now, again, this is before probably before they ever set foot behind the car. Now, what's going to happen if your teen gets into an accident or gets a traffic violation or something really catastrophic, like a DUI? How much do you think the rates are going to go up then? So it's important, I think, for parents to have clean driving records on going in. And again, insurance companies are all different, so shop around, and they're willing to cut deals with you to get your business, as you were saying before.
So the way I'm seeing this is that when you're young, you get higher rates for insurance. As you get older and you mature, your rates kind of level out, go down in some respects if you're a good driver. And then when you hit that certain age of
I knew
60,
you were going to go there.
65, 70, the rates go back up. So I'm not accusing you. Present company may be included. I don't know. But isn't that the fake? The fact where they up and then they level and they go up again with older drivers? Because there's a lot of folks that shouldn't be driving.
We found that to be the case. So if you look at it, it's a relatively short window you have to enjoy decent insurance rates, basically from the time from maybe you're 25 until your late 50s. After that, outside of that, your insurance rates are going to go up.
Yeah.
Well, here's a thought to go back to the teenage thing. If you are a bad driver, if you got lots of tickets and you're at a high rate, is it possible to get your parents, the kid's grandparents, to get that child on their insurance when we assume that they have a better driving record than you do as a parent?
Interesting. Yeah.
I've got two of my granddaughters are on our insurance policy, but they live in our house. That's part of the criteria. They have to live in your house with you. The third granddaughter still lives with her mother, so she can't be on my insurance, but she is on her mother's insurance. Mm-hmm. So it can be done.
If they're in your residence or if you're their legal guardians. Now, I've seen a number of cases where grandparents have adopted their grandchildren for whatever reasons. And yeah, so I mean, if your child is off in college, if your grandchild's off in college, but that you're still their legal guardian, then you can, you can do it.
Interesting.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. Kind of, sort of.
Uh-huh. Well, Chip, WalletHub. What is WalletHub?
WalletHub is a personal finance website primarily. We offer a number of tools to help folks make sound financial decisions. We have budgeting apps, and we have credit card recommendations and all sorts of guides for what types of credit cards to look at. We offer free credit scores, credit reports. You can sign up for an account, and you can view your credit scores regularly. They're updated regularly. And to shoot down the myth here that just by reviewing your credit score does not affect your score. You can review your credit score 100 times a day if you want. It's not going to affect your credit score.
What does affect your credit score?
Well, the biggest thing that affects your credit score is your payment history.
Right.
So if you're continually late on payments, if you're using too much of your credit limit, that's going to affect your credit score. So it's always a good idea, always pay at least the minimum amount. Of course, you want to strive for more because you don't want to be using up too much of your credit. If you use too much of your credit limit, lenders are going to look at that as a sign if maybe you're not managing your credit responsibly, and that's going to affect how your ability to obtain credit in the future.
And the one thing that I go to is buying a new car.
Yeah.
It'll definitely affect that.
It will definitely affect that because you can still get a car loan with a fair or average credit score, but don't expect to get any of these favorable interest rates that you're always seeing on television. You're going to get a pretty steep interest rate on top of that.
Chip, it's great to talk to you. We thank you very much for joining us on this Saturday, sir. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, really appreciate
All right,
it.
we'll talk to you.
Appreciate it.
We'll hope to talk to you again soon. Chip Lupo,
We look forward to it.
WalletHub. Yep. Hey,
Thanks.
coming up, Jeff has the cruise in and events calendars, and I got the stories making automotive news headlines this week. It's all just ahead, coming to you live this weekend from the Hemi Hideout in Brookshire, Texas. Stay with us. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues after this quick break. Well, we hoped that it was going to do that, but David's not here to turn up the music, and I don't know what he's got going on over there.
Well,
but,
you can sing. You know the
Let's
words.
just let it roll.
No. Switch back to us, and we'll get back to that in just a minute. Why don't we just go ahead and do the next segment, shall we? And when he comes back from wherever he's gone off to.
He went to buy a
Ding,
Hemi.
ding, 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 ding.
Okay, so let's try the cruise in and
Okay.
events calendars. Jeffrey has that.
Are we sponsored or anything?
No.
Oh, okay, good deal. Well, we got Legends Cars and Coffee. This is for next Saturday at Adam Teddison's Custom Car Wash and Detail. It's in Aransas Pass near you, Michael. Actually, south of you. Yeah, just about 20,000 miles.
Just down the coast.
It's down the coast a ways.
Anyways, it's going to go on there. It's from 8:30 to 11:30. Participants can expect appearances from Joker's Oceanside Cleaning Service, Lucky BB Coffee, and Shoe VIP Nails and Spa. So they're going to be out there participating in that.
Down in Aransas Pass.
Not far from Mike. Texas Gator Fest Car Show 2025. It's near Fort Anahuac Park in Anahuac, Texas, Michael. Check that out. Gator Fest Car Show. It's next Saturday starts at 9 a.m. Participants will receive a swag bag, T-shirt, and Gator Head trophies. All right.
Gator Head trophies.
Gator Head trophies are going to be awarded.
Remember those? You used to buy those at the Stuckies, and they were all in formaldehyde and hard as a rock. But
I
they
actually
were
have
baby gators.
I got a baby Gator head that's opened up, and I got my business cards in there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's very cool. Fiesta 57, Bob Bauer Civic
Do
Center.
you really have that?
I do. I'll show you next time you come over.
Oh my God!
Bob Bauer Civic Center, Port Arthur. Same thing down there. They got stuff for the kids. They got raffles, prizes.
That one's a
all
little
that good stuff.
closer.
Yeah, that one's a little closer. Colorado Country Fair in the Rodeo Car Show. That's in Columbus, Texas. That's next Saturday. Go out and enjoy that. And then you got Cars Coffee hosted by Fearless Performance next Sunday. That's in Huntsville, Texas. So you go to the car show, and then you can go visit the prison museum, all that
See
stuff
your
up in
uncles.
Huntsville. See my uncles.
Or I could go see my cohorts on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk
There
Show
you
at the
go.
penitentiary.
That'd be the women's
Coming
prison.
up, we're going to have this week's news headlines right after this quick break.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Lupi Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in West Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flameado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas, or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla, he's pretty good. Apple or Android, In-Wheel Time podcast can be found everywhere, on the stream and through downloads. Whether you're on the road or at home and jonesing for a different kind of car talk show, give In-Wheel Time a try. Honest new car reviews, fun, informative interviews with real car people, weekly automotive news, features like Jeff's Car Culture and Mike's Driving Destinations, all on In-Wheel Time. Check us out on SiriusXM Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or while you're shopping on Amazon, through Amazon Music. InWheelTime.com has a list, and we know you love lists.
And let me just go. Well, I did.
He gave you the finger. You just didn't catch it.
No, that's the Fickle Finger of Fate Award.
boy.
You remember that?
Yeah.
What was that from?
Laughing.
Thank you.
Sock it to me.
Talk it to me. Before your
Baby.
time, David. The Fickle Finger of Fate Award.
Yeah, he's still paying high rate insurance because he's too young.
Shut up, David. We don't want to know how young you are. Some of the stories making automotive news headlines. Did you see this? What happened yesterday? Trump administration will enforce laws that require foreign workers have proper authorization to be in the United States, according to the White House, after immigration authorities raided a Hyundai-LG energy plant construction project over in Georgia. Quote, any foreign workers brought in for specific projects must enter the United States legally and with proper work authorizations. It's always been that way before all of this big mess happened at the border. White House spokesperson Abigail Jackson says President Trump will continue delivering on his promise, blah, blah. The operation was the largest single site enforcement in the history of Homeland Security across the United States, according to Stephen Schrank, the Homeland Security Investigations Chief for Georgia and Alabama, who spoke at a press conference. Schrank confirmed 475 workers were arrested, most of them Korean nationals, following a multi-month probe. It was carried out with collaboration across several agencies, including U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, FBI, DEA, CBP, IRS, U.S. Marshals, and Georgia State Patrol. Oh, my God.
I don't hear anything about
the
Boy Scouts.
Army was there.
The Army.
No Boy Scouts or anything?
How in the world do you get 400
I
people in the country at one time?
I don't know, because they have to have a green card to work. I believe it's the green card,
Yeah,
isn't
some
it? The
type of
green
work
card.
permit, yeah.
It's a work permit.
Yeah.
Because
to
I
come
know
through
somebody
customs.
that currently has one.
Right.
And it's a big deal to him to keep it
When you
current
fly,
and all of that.
Whatever port of entry you come into, they're going to ask you.
The sweep went beyond the Hyundai-LG joint venture, uncovering a web of subcontractors and sub-subcontractors supplying labor to the site. Those detained were found to be unlawfully in the U.S. and working illegally, some having crossed the border without authorization, others entering under the visa waiver program without work rights, and others overstaying legal visas. Hyundai's Georgia industrial site, known as a Meta Plant America, is designed to produce as many as 500,000 hybrid and electric vehicles a year, employ up to 12,500 workers by early next decade. Oh, my God. So did they have a train roll up there to load them all?
I don't know.
Because a bus wouldn't hold
Or at the
475.
But you know what? If somebody gets hurt or if there's a tragic death, they're going to say, well, you weren't supposed to be here anyway, so we're not going to, honor a lawsuit or something. That happened in Houston where a builder was building a home and the home collapsed on a worker that was, I think, 16 years old that didn't speak English, and you never hear anything after that because they just brush it under the table.
And that's what would happen to that.
Yeah.
The law, they push
They
that
brush
under
under the table.
Under the table.
There's a bunch of people in trouble today.
I'll betcha.
Ooh-wee. The first ever Vehicle Quality and Pricing Index from the Dave Canton Group, DCG, reveals which automotive brands are delivering the strongest mix of reliability and affordability at a time when consumer budgets are under pressure. Key takeaways from the QPI. Buick, Mazda, and Toyota lead the mainstream field for overall value. Lexus and Cadillac rank highest among luxury brands. Brands with heavy reliance on full-size trucks, Ford, Chevy, GM, fall lower in the rankings due to high transaction prices. Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram occupy the bottom tier of the index. Thought that was an interesting story. In 2025, affordability pressures are reshaping demand. Buick, for example, topping the QPI with a 7% drop in average transaction price and the fewest reported problems among 100 vehicles, while also posting one of the industry's top market share gains in the first half of the year, Jeff. Toyota's strong showing reflects its enduring reputation for value, while Lexus similarly balances luxury with long-term reliability. By contrast, higher-priced brands with more reported dealership visits, including premium truck lines and technology-heavy luxury vehicles, ranked lower. No surprise there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make comments if you'd
No,
like.
I mean, I was just thinking. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. Police in Midland, Texas, accused the former general manager of Midland Mitsubishi of stealing between $30,000 and $150,000.
Wow, it's a big variant.
Sammy Rodriguez is facing third-degree felony theft charges. He was arrested August 26th, according to the Midland County Sheriff's Office. He also is accused of credit or debit card abuse, another third-degree felony, jail records show. Authorities accused Rodriguez Jr. of theft by deception, embezzlement, remind me to tell you about embezzling, forgery, and misuse. No, but I know somebody. Got fired for embezzlement.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
And I know the person. Oh, my God. I'll never
Don't look
see
at me,
him.
Mike.
Yeah.
He's looking at me.
Forgery and misusing company funds over several years, according to local CBS affiliate Koza TV. Rodriguez Jr. worked at the dealership from late 2019 through May of 2024. Midland Mitsubishi closed in May. The former owner's Momentum Automotive Group filed for bankruptcy in August of 24, according to federal bankruptcy records. Rodriguez Jr. also is accused of threatening workers, altering financial records, manipulating deals, and jamming communication between employees and the dealership owner. Reportedly, Rodriguez Jr. did not register about 150 vehicles with the state and took payments from customers without following through.
Wow.
Investigators found nearly $1 million in questionable checks issued to Rodriguez Jr. between 2020 and 2024. He also allegedly altered payroll records to boost his monthly salary. The station wrote, oh my
You know, what I find really interesting about that is, in Midland, Texas, they were selling Mitsubishis.
They were selling them.
Well, they were doing something with them. They had them there. That's the surprising
Yeah, well,
part.
apparently he was selling them out from underneath the dealership.
Sell them out the back door.
I don't understand. Now that's wrong. It's criminal.
How do you have a business?
How do you have it? Who is watching the numbers? Where are your audits?
Well,
Don't
apparently
dealerships
the
audit
owner
every
of,
year?
apparently the owner of the dealership had no clue.
You audit a floor plan.
I'm thinking Momentum. Isn't that another big corporate thing?
Yeah.
I mean, like all over the place. So
it's not as big as an AutoNation or a Penske or anything, but yeah, they're big.
Yeah, so he may have. It's a Mitsubishi
But
dealer
we're not-
in Midland,
but
Texas,
we're
of
not-
all places.
I
But
know.
I have a follow-up to this.
Uh-oh.
Rodriguez Jr. allegedly issued fraudulent payroll checks, directed employees to issue checks for his personal benefit, and misused a Business American Express card. No. Rodriguez Jr. is also accused of using company checks to buy personal vehicles and recreational watercraft, and to
It
pay
wasn't Mitsubishi. He was.
credit
junk.
card
I'm gonna go
bills.
twice.
The judge set Rodriguez Jr.'s bail at $900,000. He was being held in Midland County Central Detention Center as of the afternoon of September 4th, according to jail records.
And he paid his bond in cash.
On a stolen credit
How
card.
much you need?
Yeah. Buy some today.
There's a little $5 for the jailer.
Yeah,
Oh, my God. Well, I thought that was pretty funny.
that's funny.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We'll be back after this quick break.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto
I'll take
enthusiasts.
another,
We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show now reaches 5.3 million folks each year. Check us out on InWheelTime.com, the Odyssey Radio app, YouTube, Facebook, and just about every other entertainment source out there, including our live broadcast every Saturday, 10 to noon Central Time. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show has informative automotive guest interviews, new car reviews, along with popular features including Jeff's Car Culture, the latest new cars, cruise-ins, and racing dates. It's InWheelTime.com. Join us. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.